Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the administration of small succession amendment bill. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, has indicated that it's a very small bill, but significant. But Mr. Speaker, in my own humble opinion of what has transpired or what is happening here, this is really significant for the people that I represent as far as the work of the Ministry of Equity is concerned. Mr. Speaker, I think it is in Proverbs 13 verse 22, it says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children. And Mr. Speaker, over the years, one of the greatest challenge for a number of families, especially mothers, parents, they live their entire life thinking as to what do they leave behind for the children. And poor families would reconcile during their life that they can't leave anything behind, so they focus on their burial. They join the society group. And for a lot of families, a lot of parents, they ensure that they leave behind something that the children can take responsibility for their burial, because they cannot afford to leave behind some of the other things that people leave behind for their families. Mr. Speaker, when we speak of wealth creation, a significant part of wealth is based on inheritance. And those of us who research some of the economic magazines, we would see this in a year, what is the total amount of inheritance that goes through the American system, and the amount of taxes that is collected from the government in terms of inheritance. Mr. Speaker, that challenge by the average family or persons who are challenged, they reflect on the issue of poverty. And of course, Mr. Speaker, they would pay attention to how they live their lives. But of course, the experts, Mr. Speaker, the experts would have also considered that. And they have developed the multiple index, poverty index, capturing 3 areas, Mr. Speaker, 3 pillars. And those 3 pillars are captured in health, education, and the standard of living. Mr. Speaker, the last time I spoke here, I mentioned that health captures, nutrition and child mortality, education, they speak of years of schooling and school attendance. But the standard of living is where I would like to focus on, because it speaks to cooking fuel, sanitation, drinking water, electricity, housing, and assets. Mr. Speaker, the multiple index of poverty consider assets as a very important indicator. But what I found interesting in terms of the discussion among professionals, they focus on assets relating to a television in a poor man's home, a refrigerator, some sorts of household items. But Mr. Speaker, the issue of assets goes deeper than just these mere household items. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, the legislation, the amendments being made to allow someone to go to the registry to inherit through the registry of property value $40,000 is very, very significant. Mr. Speaker, in my professional work as a quantity surveyor, there was, in recent time, 1 carry of 3.2 acres of land was being valued at about $50,000. A farmer somewhere in Techshime Millet with 3 acres of land or 1 carry of land, and the banana and it's taken up with black sikatoka, can be sold on the market or valued at about $40,000 sometimes or less. It means therefore that the children would have difficulty inheriting that piece of property, and therefore a lawyer, they would have to go to a lawyer, and then of course they have to pay fees to the lawyer, and that challenge would prevent the family from having that inheritance. what the government has done is to make it possible that if you have an acre of land in Tetshime Millet, that a family member can go down to the land registrar with the death certificate, birth certificate, and have letters of administration prepared so that they can inherit the property. Mr. Speaker, this is significant. This is important, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and of course, I would want to even be a little more innovative. If I was part of a family where there are 10 acres of land and there are 10 children, it means that the property can now be subdivided in 1 acre each, and each person can go down to the land registrar and now have their own letters of administration for their 1 acre parcel. It is now possible through this piece of legislation that 10 acres of land can now be inherited through the land registry with a subdivision plan, with each child going and inheriting their acre of land. Mr. Speaker, I really want to commend the Prime Minister on this initiative. I did speak with the Attorney General on this matter quite a bit, because I said to him, the lawyers will stop making so much money on succession deeds. I've said that the issue of poverty and it is very systemic, because it's difficult for some persons to inherit or to grow, to develop wealth through inheritance based on the amount of hurdles, the cost of getting lawyers and all of these sort of things. So certainly, Mr. Speaker, anyone who would reflect on the amendments being made from $5,000 to $40,000 would recognize this is significant in having the registrar to process, whether it is through letters of administration or whether it is will or what have you, so that persons can inherit property. And I think, like I've said in most of my presentations to parents, I have said that it is okay for you to leave something behind for your kids. And this sort of idea would encourage parents to not to feel troubled that if you have $8,000 in the bank, it would not be difficult for your children to inherit it, and they would not have to pay a lawyer half of it to inherit it. You could now go to the land registrar with your documents, death certificate, birth certificate, ID cards, and get letters of administration, then proceed to the bank and have the monies withdrawn to do what you're supposed to do for your family. And it can be up to 40. Just imagine, Mr. Speaker, before it was $5,000 and less. Now it is $40,000 and less. So I want to thank the Prime Minister for providing further support to the vulnerable population as we move forward in terms of doing our best for poor people. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.